what's going on in IIT Delhi? What is different about IIT Delhi that so many entrepreneurs are coming from there?
Well, first and foremost, you have the cream, right? If the selection criteria is that tough,
It's meritocratic.
what makes it through is meritocracy, right? So the people who are very, very good, they're making through. But it's also the fact that, I believe personally, and we'll talk about that anyone can become better.
Yeah.
But these people have already mastered some techniques to, be at the top echelons.
Right.
And so you already have a bunch of people that know how to, excel.
Yeah.
You put them all together. Yeah. You put them in a little bit of a pressure cooker situation, which is what IIT creates. And these guys become even more better. Not all of them, last, by the way, which is sad. But the ones that do pull through, they actually are the best of the best, so to say. Right?
Okay, let's compare apples to apples. So let's say now you do bachelor's in Stanford and you're doing bachelor's in IIT Delhi. Stanford is also kind of like a pressure cooker environment, but they don't say it, but they do have a system and you have to fit in. Now, let's say at the same time you're doing in IIT Delhi, where is it that IITians get pushed harder?
So I would say, I can't comment about Stanford. I'm sure Stanford is an equally excellent environment. But the first thing I would say is that at least in my time, there was the IITs and the next tier of universities in India was way distant compared to the IITs, right? And that's not the case in the US. In the US, the top 20 universities are all pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I would say the pressure of making it to Stanford, first and foremost, is not that severe. If you don't get into Stanford, it's okay. You'll get into something pretty decent.
Yeah.
Right. So even there, it's not like the kids are really, striving really, really hard to get into Stanford. But once they do, the US education is way more comfortable, based on my own experience in my PhD compared to...
Why is it comfortable? Because, Vinod Khosla makes this comment also in CBS 60. This was in the 90s or 80s. Right. And he says, after getting through IIT Delhi, he breezed through Carnegie Mellon. Right. What's going on there? Tell me.
Yeah, so I think the IITs, they throw you sort of in the fire, so to say, right? So the course load is very high.
Yeah, and
there's
what if you don't do well?
Yeah, if you don't do well, your GPA is probably bad. Then, at least in my time, the IT industry in India was not that great.
Yeah.
So your next logical step would be to get a scholarship and go out for a master's or a PhD. And if you don't do well, you're not going to get there. So guess what? The local industry is not there. So you end up basically in taking up a job somewhere which is not aligned to the skills that you just learned, or you just completely change careers. A lot of people go into, as you know, civil services or a different kind of line. Yeah. And they are basically leaving behind the education that they took from the IITs. So that used to be the unfortunate part about the IITs, that
and
if you don't do well,
are highly paid.
Yeah.
Once you graduate, you get like mind-boggling salaries if you're in India, right? Like, yeah. So yeah, go ahead. And you were saying you're comparing Stanford and...
so I would say the IITians, I'm sure, are highly paid, but these days salaries are pretty good for, every skilled professional, IT or not. IITians may get a little bit extra, but eventually I would also say that some IITians, have a sense of entitlement. That just because they're an IITian, they should have the world falling at their feet, and that is also not true. Yeah. Eventually, IIT is something that makes things possible, but it is on you to take that and take it to the next level. So if you are just assuming that you'll just get you'll keep getting, all the goodies the rest of your life just because you're in IIT, and that is so not true.
All right, wonderful. Yeah. So on that note, what was it like for you to do bachelor's in IIT? Like, obviously you lived on campus. I'm sure you had good amount of social life. You might have extracurricular activities, and then you may have to pick and choose where to focus on. And you may have teachers to work with, and they probably pushed you hard. You have a rapport with them. What is that like?